the first platform. This is Lune. Here is the link. Let me send that for you guys. Yeah, if I haven't hit your DM yet, my bad. I've had a really busy weekend. Let me go try to hit some of these real quick. Sorry, updates. No, I don't think anything's wrong with yours, Jay. Just send me your calendar. I'm gonna match it up with my calendar, your trade calendar. It's probably gonna look exactly the same. June was the worst month. Let me actually pull this up real quick. Hold on. Before we get too deep into this, I have something I wanted to pull up. Here it is. June. Okay. Here it is. Ooh. Not the best quality when you enlarge it, but here we go. Equity curve. So if we go to June here, J, we can see that based on our data for last year, June was our worst month. And it wasn't the beginning of June either. It was more like towards the after the first week, and then it just went to shit. And we've seen that here as well. So sharp curve back up towards the end. And July looks fantastic. So I'm gonna put the bot back on my fundeds. What I did here, because I actually look at this, a lot of us actually, we look at this. This was a part of the PDFs. I know some people didn't look at this, but honestly, we should have just made an announcement. But I de-risked, took a lot off my fundeds, and just let my evals ride. I blew a lot of evals actually, and then now we're kind of what's today? The 28th. Yeah, today's the 28th. So we had 2 wins last week. One win had like 3 wins in a day. It was pretty nice. But we need to get everyone's settings aligned because I've noticed a lot of people are still having issues with their settings. And it's most of the people who don't join these streams, unfortunately. So for the people who are here, you're going to have a chance to confirm all your settings. Yeah, Johnny, it's recording already. And yeah, we can go from there. So July should be better. I'm praying, I'm hoping, and I'm going to go ahead and put mine back on because I had them separated. If we go here, we'll go to groups on my trade sinker. And you'll see my fundeds I separated because I had $1 million in funding and I'm still like 6,800 green on them. And I was like, man, I took 3 or 4 losses in a row. And I was like, nah, let's de-risk. And then I put it all in my evals, right? So I'm probably about to switch it back and then I'll manually trade these evals. Once I pass them, give them back to the bot. That's kind of my plan right now. So we got Lune. This is Trade Sinker right here. I don't like Tradecopia because it's device based, but I actually think you can get it on web based now real quick. Let me check Tradecopia. Website looks really good. Start copying. Whoa. Yeah, they look looks like they have web-based. I think it's about the same price as. It's a really nice website. About us, futures, pricing. Here it is. This is the one you want for Tradecopia. Okay? Because see on Pro, local desktop application. You don't want that. All right. I mean, you can do that, but personally with the bot, if you're not here to baby your stuff every morning, then I would do the Pro because you get a hosted dedicated VPS, so it comes with it. Powered by Quant VPS. I mean, I'm really not sure about all that, honestly, for 150. In my opinion, because I'm paying 150 for all these connections to have all this. I mean, look how many accounts I have. Yeah, it's too many. This is costing me 150. 11 connections down here, so 11 different firms. Rhythmic, Trade of 8, Project X. They're all different. So I think TradeSync is the better deal. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to have to deal with VPS or anything like that. I haven't had any issues so far, but I know some people have had issues for TradeSync. I personally, I haven't. Like I have to come here every morning before trading and every Monday, and I have to refresh like this. And look, see, I refreshed, and now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 random connections have disconnected. So they probably did some updates over the weekend. So I'm gonna need to manually go back and connect each one of them. Sometimes Apex doesn't want to, like so, see? So I have to delete Apex like this. This is for all my TradeSync guys. Y'all need to make sure you watch this. And then I'm going to have to add Apex again. It's very annoying. So this is one of my gripes about TradeSync. This only happens on Mondays, though, after the market is closed and opened again. Usually it's an update. For whatever reason, Apex does updates every weekend. Okay, so I've added Apex back, and now I have to click here in details because see, look, 0 out of 120. I have a lot of Apexes, so I have to manually do this every single time. Okay, that's the second step. Just for Apex, yep, every Sunday. Every Sunday Pearl. What I did was, I went to TradeSync. I was showing everyone my gripes with TradeSync, and luckily it showed me firsthand. So we click refresh, and then what's going to happen is you'll have some random disconnected stuff like this, right? It's always going to be different. Typically, Apex is one of them. So you'll have to do this, but most of the time, Apex won't go back to blue. Unfortunately, you have to delete it, right? And then re-add it. Then you have to go to details, turn every single one of them on. Then you have to go to your groups again, and you'll have all of these default accounts now, which is 20 Apexes that I have to add back to the appropriate group. So 10 of them are evals and 10 of them are funded. So now I'll have to go to my funded one right here, click edit, and then I'll have to type Apex or PA and add all of my PA Apexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we'll assign as followers, and then make sure you go back and right here, click update group at the bottom right, or it won't save. Then it's gonna add all of them to your funded. So I've added those to my funded. Now I'll go to my evals, click edit, and I'll type Apex, and I'll add all 10 Apexes to this group as followers. 10. And I don't want to add the PAs because those are my funded. So PA is a PA account is a funded account. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Assign as follower. Scroll down, update group. wait for it to load. Boom. So now I have no more default section, and all of my accounts have been successfully added back to TradeSyncer, and then you're done. So that's my only issue with TradeSyncer. I only have to do that once a week, typically, and unfortunately, I don't know much about this. So I'll probably, what I'll do, guys, if you guys have this and have questions, I'll buy this and then and test it and see. Apart from that, no, I personally haven't had any issues. I know some people have had issues, but you know, like as far as executions go, I have really good fills. I've showed it on stream where my fills are stupid close to each other from my lead account all the way to my, oh, I forgot one step. I forgot to go back to the cockpit, and then you have to turn on every single one of those accounts that you added, guys, again, within the cockpit itself. So those are the fundeds, then go to the evals, and then turn on those 10 evals too. So very important. Now you're actually officially done. So Lune, Traders Post, and then we have the clear edge right here. Okay. So Lune, Traders Post, and Clear Edge are the same thing. They just do it differently. Clear Edge is device-based. You'll have to have your computer on, or you'll have to get a VPS. Lune and Traders Post are cloud-based. They work very, very similarly, but with different steps. Traders Post is about 5 or 6 extra steps than Lune. Lune takes about 5 minutes. Traders Post can take anywhere between 10 and 15. Traders Post does copy. It depends on how you set it up. So when you get logged into Traders Post, you'll see this. Okay. You only need the starter plan, and then you need to add more accounts if you have more than 4. So for $40 with code N4A20, whoops, you'll get $10 off a month. So it'll take it from 50 to 40. But honestly, I don't even want to show Traders Post anymore, because for that same price, $50 a month, we've got Lune Auto Trader. Okay, so it just depends on what you want to do. Traders Post has its benefits. Lune has its benefits. Lune, the benefit of Lune is that you have, go to connections here. With the $50 base auto trader, you get, and you don't need the trade copier for Lune, you just need the auto trader. You get 2 connections and 10 accounts versus Traders Post 4 accounts. But the cool thing about Traders Post is that it's unlimited connections. So I can add 4 different connections and between 4 different accounts. So I could add Trade of 8 Lucid, I could add Top Step Project X, I could add Trade of 8 Alpha, and I could add Trade of 8 something else with Traders Post. So Traders Post doesn't limit you on the connections like Lune does, right? Lune is limiting you to 2 connections, but they're giving you more accounts, 5 accounts per connection. For the same price, Traders Post is giving you unlimited connections, but with only 4 accounts. And the way to get more accounts on Traders Post is you add paper accounts, and they're $4 each per month. So right off the bat, if you want to use Traders Post as a full-on copy trader, First off, I don't suggest it. Second off, it can get really expensive when I start to add these paper accounts, as you can see. So each account I add is $4 a month, recurring, and at 10 accounts, that's $40 extra a month. With that price, you might as well go back to Lune and get the trade copier. So that's the way I see it. Or you might as well get a trade syncer, because for $50 a month, you can have 20 accounts extra. So it's a better deal than using Traders Post as a copier itself, rather than just using Traders Post to host your lead. So that's typically what I do. I don't put more than one account per automation software. I just put one account there, and then I use a trade copier for all my other accounts. That way I'm not pulling too much API data from the cloud software itself, whether it's Lune or Traders Post, and it's giving me the best fills possible, as well as, like I said, I'm not pulling too much on the API, so there's not that much, how do I say, like, not too many things trying to go through one door. Imagine this is one door. Everyone's signal is trying to travel through this one open door, and I'm just trying to do my best to limit the amount of things that I'm personally sending through that door. So, and I'm also protecting myself with my fills. Because TradeSyncer gets way better fills than if I were to put everything on Lune or put everything on Traders Post, if you will. You have two connections. Can they both be Apex? Well, Apex would be one connection and then a bunch of accounts. So you would have one connection being Apex, and then Apex gives you 20 accounts. So then you could have 20 accounts. They should give you the ability to add 20 accounts with one connection. If you have 10 Apex Rhythmic O and 10 Apex Tradeovate, that's interesting. Then that would be two connections. Yeah. That would be two connections. Yeah. Two connections, 10 accounts each. But if you have 10 Apex Rhythmic and 10 Apex Tradeovate, that's two different connections. So you would be maxing out the plan for the $50. So from my understanding, Pearl, I think the CokeBot will trade while we're asleep, or not New York session. I actually haven't confirmed that. I have little to no information on the CokeBot. It's sad. I genuinely don't have any information for you guys. If I did, I'd be telling you. That's probably why they don't tell me, because they know I would tell you guys. So, yeah, I don't have any information on it, but from what I understood, I thought they were making it to where it would trade on the same account, and it wouldn't interfere with Pure Hunter, but I can't confirm that. We'll see. If that was the case, then I would how would I get another account? I would get another ghost lead from Tradeovate, but I would use my wife. I'd probably use my wife's name to get that account. Or like my brother, my little brother. I have two little brothers, so they're going to have to give that up. My grandpa would probably give me one. You know what I mean? We're using ghost accounts. Yeah. So it would be a Tradeovate demo. That's all it is. So the props have no idea about you having it. That's the whole point. You would go to Tradeovate. This is what you do to acquire it. You go to Tradeovate, and then you would actually see how it says don't have an account. We would make a new account with our personal email and give it our personal information. And so what that is now, they're going to give you a demo account, and you need to pay for the data for it. and it's not free, but it's very cheap. It's like 12 to 24 bucks a month, and you get a extra account that no one knows about. That's why we call it a ghost account. It's a Tradeovate account that you use as your lead. And I use this as my lead on my automation software. So whether it's Traders Post or Lune, this is my lead. So we go to home, okay guys, and we go to connection. And Lune gives you a paper account actually, which is super cool. I don't know if we can use this as a lead just yet, but I will figure that out. So we go to Tradeovate, and I would name this my lead, continue, make sure it's in demo, log in with Tradeovate, and then once your lead's actually created and you have it, you would log in with your personal Tradeovate details. The only people that know you have this account is you, Tradeovate, and probably United States government or the SEC. And then here it is, boom, add account. Because well, first off, you get better fills. Second off, and that might or may not be true. I've just been saying that actually because I've been getting really good fills. So we'll see. We'll have to put them to the test. That's the thing I haven't done yet is put them to the test. But my fills have been crazy. Secondly, it's the ghost method. So let me disconnect this so you don't get confused. Perfect. Here it is. So, and that's the only account that I would add. This is the ghost method. This makes sure that all my props are never hitting any automation software API. Because when you add them here, let's say you start taking 40, 50, 60K payouts, they're going to start checking your API, you know? And if Lune should be fine, and there's a lot of props that allow Traders Post as well. So like if we go here and we click Connect Broker and we go to prop firms, these should all be good because they've allowed Traders Post to have their API. Okay. But I don't like to risk anything, especially with the amount of accounts that I have. And I always suggest people don't really need to worry about this until they have this many accounts. Like this is ridiculous, right? So what I've done is I say, okay, we'll just use a ghost lead to hide where my trades are coming from. Okay. So now no one knows where my trades are actually coming from. They all just look like they're being generated on my TradeSyncer via a trade copier, and TradeSyncer is whitelisted. Yes, I'm masking behind a demo. So TradeSyncer is completely allowed by all props. They don't have any issue with TradeSyncer. That's just a trade copier. And that's why it works. So all my APIs are just hitting this. They have no issue with this, and I have no issues with payouts. So that's why I do that. I just add my demo here as my live, my lead, sorry, and then I would go to, in Lune, I would go to Auto Trader. Lucid appears to be allowing bot trading, but Alpha does not. Apex has rules with it. So TradeSync removes the risk of those rules. Exactly, Pearl. Exactly. I started with Lucid, and Blue Sky also allows automation when you use a clear edge code, I believe. But super good prop firms that allow it. Blue Sky, max them out. Lucid, max them out. And then worry about the other stuff later, guys. You don't need to do this ghost method yet, especially if you're with Lucid or Blue Sky, because it's totally allowed. But yeah, that's the method. Works really well. So let me show you how easy it is to create a strategy on Lune. After you have your account connected, so we would go to home on Lune, and the only thing that you need is, look, I have everything, but that's just so I can test it and give you guys feedback and you know, fix bugs and stuff like that. But all you need is AutoTrader. This is the only thing that you need for Lune. It's $50 a month and automated strategy execution in the cloud. 24/7 cloud execution, no VPS and no desktop needed. 5 to 10 millisecond execution. They use WebSockets, that's why it's a little bit better than it's a lot better than Traders Post. But Traders Post is seeing similar times to Lune. I'd say Lune's about 5 to 10 times quicker on its best day. And then, yep, that's all you need. If you didn't want to use TradeSyncer, Lune has a trade copier within the same platform, and it's really, really good. Way cheaper. And it's a cool option just to kind of keep everything together. But you only need the AutoTrader. So once you have that, you go to the home, and then we're going to go to connections. And just like I did, we'll add our Tradeovate lead, or you'll add your prop firm. Lune gives you the ability for Rhythmic. So if you have Rhythmic, your only option is Lune or Clear Edge, which I'll get to in a moment. But Traders Post is not going to allow you to connect Rhythmic, unfortunately. So you have to use Lune. So connect what you need to connect, and once they're connected, they need to be enabled. I have my Lucid accounts and I'm trying to throw some Blue Sky accounts on Lune. Yeah, go to Clear Edge Pearl and get their code for get the Clear Edge code for the Blue Sky account. It's a pretty nice code, and when you use that code, you get guaranteed like grandfather access for automation. Playbot, I'm sure Playbot's working on a code for the same thing right now, and then we'll get one and give it to you in the firm discounts. If you're in the Clear Edge Discord, you should be able to find it. They made a post about it. It should be 50% off or more. I'm not sure how much I paid for mine. I think I paid like $60 for this one account. Oh, this is funded next. I'm tripping. I actually don't know. 2-day launch? I'll go check. Let me check. Log in. Let's refresh it. There it goes. Blue Sky launch. Yeah. Yeah, launch 50K eval. Yes, you can use Bullnox on Lune. 100%. So once our accounts are added, just like that, I'll wait another couple minutes so you guys have a moment. Let's delete the paper account. I didn't get any like login details for this. I just clicked paper account right here and it gave it to me. Oh, there's credentials right here. Wait. No, there's not. I'll ask the owner of Lune where the credentials are, and then we might be able to use this as our lead. Because what I would need is I would need the credentials to log into this account itself and take that to TradeSyncer to be able to use it as my lead. And that'll eliminate the need for the well, not eliminate it, but it would give us an extra lead option. I wouldn't have to go hit up Gramps or whatever to make that happen. Yeah, once I get confirmation on how the CokeBot works in regards to trading session and time zone and overlap, we'll have a whole stream on that, and we'll just dig right into it. So boom, y'all should have had enough time to get your demo account added, your account paid for, and everything, or whatever accounts you need added and enabled. Then we go to automation and we click Auto Trader. And we're already 50% done. It's click this auto trader button right here, or you can click new auto trader right there. Same thing. I'm going to name this Akimbo. So that is my new favorite strategy. That might change here soon in July. But I like the idea of having Akimbo and then letting the Coke bot carry the rest of the weight. Not like just for those days or anything. I'm just saying, like with both of those, I don't have to worry about it only trading once or twice or 3 times a week when I have the Coke bot potentially on the same account. So I think that's what we're going for. Akimbo, and then boom. The next strategy setting is raw. We only want to choose raw strategy. Okay? You don't need to do anything else here whatsoever. Just click raw strategy. And the reason that you don't need to do anything else is because it's actually taking all of the data from your TradingView JSON payload, right? Your settings, your risk, everything like that. You don't want to do static because it's going to lock you into something that's not what you want. So click continue, and then boom. This is the most important part. Symbol. We're going to type MNQ, and then we're going to scroll down to MNQU6. It says 81 days left right now. If you're watching this tomorrow or the next day, it's going to be less than 81 days, okay? We're going to click MNQU6 for this first one. And I believe you can also choose the MNQ rollover because look, MNQU6 right here. That's what you want, okay? Next, you want to choose all of the accounts that you want to trade this strategy. So I only added my demo. So you can only see my demo. But if I had more accounts, there would be a list of accounts here that I'd be able to scroll through up and down. And the cool thing about Lune is if we go to this multiplier right here, let's say I wasn't using the lead ghost method and I had all my accounts on Lune, which is, it's okay. You don't need to create different strategies for different account sizes on Lune. It's incredible. All you need to do is use the multiplier. So let's say that this was a 100K account or a 150K account, and I had my base risk from my TradingView was set to 300. So when the signal comes in from TradingView and it hits Lune, my 50Ks are all going to trade 300. But if I was to do 2 on the 100K, it would trade 600. Let's say this was a 150K and I did 3. Now what is it going to trade? 900. Okay? So you don't need, unlike on Traders Post where you have to create a whole new strategy, do everything over again, create a whole new layout, a whole new alert, and you got to manage all this extra shit on Traders Post. You don't have to do that here. On Lune, it gives you the ability to just multiply it, add all the accounts to the same strategy, right? Add them all to the same strategy and just multiplier on your big ones. So that's all you do here. That's it. And furthermore, if you're one of the people who's using Akimbo and Pure Hunter, so look, Hoodrich, real quick, if you were to do something like this, right, that would round weird as fuck. Don't do this. Why does it do that? Hold on, bro. Apparently, I don't know how to use a Mac. Okay. Don't do this. Use whole numbers, right? Because it's a really good thought. Also, if you're using a trade copier like TradeSyncer, don't use these. Just keep it at 1. Because if I was to do 2 on here on an account and then my lead on my other accounts on TradeSyncer, like TradeSyncer gives you this option. So you don't need to be messing with this if you're on TradeSyncer and you're just using a lead, okay? Just keep it at 1, but use whole numbers. don't use like 1.5 or anything like that because you're going to have some rounding errors and you could over risk, or it might just reject the trade as a whole. So just use whole numbers if and then you'll have no errors, Hoodrich, because if, like I said, if your risk on TradingView is 300, let's say your stop loss is, real quick, 300. Nice. Thank you, Pro. I might go buy some new ones real quick. That's pretty nice. And I think they're no activation as well. Yeah, no setup fee, which is honestly the best part. Because I'll pay for an account. I'll pay $80 for an account if it doesn't have an activation. But I'm not going to pay $80 for an account and then pay $120 for an activation. Fuck that. Okay. Our average stop loss is like 75 points. So let's check out this scenario, guys. I really want y'all to understand the risk. And sorry if I'm beating a dead horse here, but 300 flat coming from TradingView into Lune. And our stop loss for the day, let's just say it's 75 points, right? Every day it's different. That's our only variable. It's our only variable in this scenario. When it comes to trading, your only variable is your stop loss. It changes every day. It's never the same. Unless you have some type of model where your stop loss is the same, it's static, like the 10 a.m. candle theory. But we're not doing that, okay? So when I use the multiplier here, and I was to put it on 2, it's going to do 600, right? So if 300 gets me 2 contracts at 75-point stop, then 600 is going to get me 4 contracts, right? And 900 is going to get me 6 contracts. So there shouldn't be, when you use whole numbers and you do it like that, use flat numbers on TradingView and use whole numbers here on your multiplier, and you should have the best results. Okay. Next part, instrument. Yes, because future contracts are whole. Thank you. Exactly. That's the whole point of that. So the next part, this is the final part. This is very important. Our instrument down here. So we did symbol as M and Q. Whether you choose auto rollover or M and Q U6, it's perfectly fine. It's the same thing. Down here on instrument, you're going to see M and Q U6 has no results. We need to delete and type M and Q. Look, you got your rollover, or we want to choose a specific execution contract. Here it is. MNQU26. The only difference is it has a 2 before the 6 for the year 2026. Okay? It's the only difference. Don't ask me why. I don't know. But this is what you need to do. MNQ roll over here, or MNQU6 here at the top for symbol. But your specific instrument for execution, it has to be MNQU26. Okay? Then we're going to click continue. And then boom, you can confirm everything here. It needs to look like this. Take a screenshot real quick. Hopefully that doesn't mess up the recording. I don't think it would. And then I'll just send that there so you can kind of keep that as a reference for how it should look. Create alert, or create and set up alerts right here in the bottom right. Boom. It's going to give you your webhook and your personal JSON message for TradingView. So you no longer, if you're using Lune, and only if you're using Lune, you do not use the JSON that we give you in the Discord. That JSON is for traders post only. Just so there's no confusion in that. If you're using Lune, they're giving you a personal JSON message here. It's going to be different every time, okay? So, next and final step. We're done on Lune. We're going to keep this up here, and we're going to go back to TradingView real quick. So here's my TradingView. And I already have my layout made. But I'm going to start from scratch because I know some people don't have their layout made. So you need to go on your full chart on TradingView, and you want to go to MNQ one with the American flag, okay? Whether it doesn't have the American flag or not, it doesn't matter. These are the same, okay? Futures, CME here. And if when you put this on your chart, you don't have live data, you're going to have a little orange D right here, okay? I'm kind of hovering over where it would be on your chart with my crosshairs. It's going to be right here under like the time frame, a little orange D. What you want to do is click on that D and then click learn more. What that's going to take you to is it's going to take you to this. Whoops. Boom. It's going to take you here. Give you this link so you can go straight to it. $7 a month. Subscribe to real-time CME group futures. So here it is here. You scroll down just a little bit. You don't want this. Okay, this is not the one you want. You want to scroll down to CME group, E mini included, USA, CME, CBOT, COMEX, boom. This is the one you want right here. It has a little blue globe and it's $7 a month. I already own it, so I don't need to buy it. This is very important. I've had 3 people with issues this month because of this. They purchased it the first month, they've had the bot a month, and it did not renew, or their trading view wasn't on auto renew or something like that, right? It wasn't that they didn't have any money in their account. They probably literally didn't have it on auto renew for some reason. And what happened is they got the trade data 15 minutes late. So it was different data, a whole different signal, and they ended up with a different trade. So it's very important that you have this data because TradingView is your source. It's the initial data source. And if it's delayed, then everything else after it is fucked. It's cooked. So you want that. If you do see that orange D, get that taken care of. Once you do purchase it, come back here. They should have an option for the year. I think I bought the year. It's like $84 if I'm not mistaken. If you have it, go ahead and do that. It's worth it. You don't gotta think about it for a year. Boom. Then come back here and refresh. And it should give you like a prompt to fill out a bunch of information for the CME data. Make sure you fill all of that out. Answer it truthfully as a non-professional. Then, once that's done, refresh your screen again, just to make sure everything's stuck. And the next step would be enable 2FA. So in order to have webhooks, you need to enable 2FA real quick. Go to account settings, authentication app, turn it on, and then go to your Google Authenticator on your phone. It's going to give you a code and a QR to scan and a bunch of stuff that you need to do. It takes like 2 minutes. And then boom, you'll whip out the Google Authenticator app on your phone and you'll scan the code with it here, not with your camera. Do it with your app. And then you'll be good to go. And you'll be done with that. You don't have to do that anymore. Once you do all that, you're actually good to finalize this. So again, M in Q1, you want to be on the 5-minute time frame. Over here, you have a Manage Layouts tab. Kind of hard to see, but it's a little drop-down arrow right here. So right here at the vertical part of my crosshair, you want to click that. Then you're going to see a plus sign, Create New Layout. You're going to click that. Whoops. Make sure you have, make sure you're upgraded. It's going to give you a queue to, let me delete this. Perfect. Click that, and you're going to create a new layout. You're going to label it Akimbo. And then we have a, we can give it an emoji or whatever. so you can recognize it. I have a little alien on mine because I have this whole like space theme here. And then it's going to open it in a new tab. Click create. I'm guessing that the strat runs down on trading. Maybe your risk is 350K and that's set up for TradingView for the signals. So trade executes 2.6 contracts, which would round down to 2 and send that to your lune copier. Would multiply it by 2 for your honey. I think that's right. The round down theory is 100% correct. It's not going to, it's not, the way the bot is set up, it'll never over risk you. It'll reject the trade before it over risk you, especially with that setting here. Right here real quick. Very important that we all have this setting on right here. I'll get to the setting in a minute, but with this enabled and at 0.9, 100%, if the stop loss is just too large for your risk parameter, it'll reject it. And round down is 100% accurate. So it'll round down first, and then that round down number hits lune, and then whatever you have it on lune would multiply it from there. So even if you did put it on the 2.6, like you said, it would then appropriately, it should appropriately estimate a 2.6 contract conversion, right? It's not going to do a full, obviously it wouldn't be able to, if it could squeeze in a whole nother contract, it would, but if it can't, it won't, basically. It all depends on the stop loss size. It really does. It's stop loss size and risk. That's what it depends on. Like, you'll probably have the least amount of issues if you're running at least 400, 500 risk. Okay, guys? If you're running 200 risk, you're gonna run into some issues. You're gonna reject. Because 200 is just not enough sometimes, and I can show you that here. 200 is just not enough sometimes for the orb. Because look, you're gonna get one contract. You can't, it's not possible to get a 0.33. That's not how futures work. It's not like Forex. So look at that. One contract. Sometimes it can't even trigger one. And let me give you a perfect example. Like just the other day, three more points on this stop loss. Actually, anything other than 0.1. Hold on, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. Okay, so boom. A 0.6 more of points, and you wouldn't even have gotten this trade. The bot would have rejected this trade. Does that make sense, guys? This is getting rejected. Not even 1 micro. Okay? So these are your thresholds, right? Now it's not getting rejected. You see that? I added $5 to the risk. I kept the stop loss the same. Now it's not getting rejected. Now I'm getting 1 contract. Where are we at? Oh yeah, we created our new layout. So we're almost done. So boom. If you have not claimed your bots yet, you'll actually know by going to indicators and invite only. And you'll see here, Playbot Quant Suite. That's the one you want. If you don't see that by N4A Digital, you have not, and you have purchased your bots, then you haven't claimed them yet. So go back to where you purchased them here, and then we'll click on Playbit here on the left-hand side. Then we're going to scroll down to apps. Here on the TradingView logo, it says TradingView bot scripts. Click that. and give it your TradingView username, as I've done here. Here's my username. And I give it to it. I click set, and then I click claim. Then I'll come back to TradingView, and I'll refresh. And then we'll go back up here to indicators. We'll go to invite only. Go back down, and you should see somewhere here, Playbot Quant Suite. Click it. It's going to load onto your chart. My custom background actually might be giving it a hard time right now. It loaded on this one just fine. Nope, there it is. Okay, boom. So it's loaded. It should look like this. You'll see our last winning trade the other day. Actually, that trade shouldn't have even been triggered. That was for people who had fully optimized off. They got a dub on Friday. That's OG Hunter right there. So the trade win before that was Thursday. So look, we're getting towards the end of June, guys, and we're already starting to hit more dubs. It's crazy how good this data is. It's scary, actually. So I'm hoping it continues. Let's yeah, that's Thursday. This is Friday. If you shouldn't see a trade here because this is for people who have fully optimized turned off. But we're gonna fix that now. So let's delete the volume thing down there. You don't need that volume indicator. And then here on the drop down arrow, you'll see it opens up your script information. Yeah, I'm on Akimbo right now just because Thursdays have a lower than 50% win rate. I'm just going to go ahead and run for my fundeds anyways. For my fundeds only. Yeah, 100% Akimbo. You see the script here, and when you hover over it with your mouse, you can see your settings, your the trash bin, a little eyeball. We want to click the settings here. That's going to bring up your indicator settings. So this is kind of like the hub. This is where all of the decisions are made. We're going to keep it on classic, and you're not going to touch anything else here. Scroll down. Akimbo is hunt on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and cons on Tuesday and Thursday. Yes, conservative classic on Tuesday and Thursday. So what we'll do here is we'll take off Thursday, and now we just have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you wanted to just run pure hunter, you would keep Thursdays on, just like that. Now, we had Thursday was a good trade, so just keep that in mind. Sometimes is good, sometimes it's shit. You know? But I'm not clairvoyant. The bot's not clairvoyant. So we have no idea if Thursdays could turn around and be the best fucking days ever. I have no idea. So I'm going to show you both. I'll show you Akimbo, and I'll show you actually what was that trade Thursday. That shit don't even look right. Was this a Con Classic trade? Does anyone remember? Was this that unicorn trade on Thursday? Pretty sure this was that unicorn trade that never happened. Someone tag King Base God. He'll know. So if you keep Thursdays on, Con Classic, you know what? Is it on Hunter? What the fuck? So it was a Hunter and a full optimized. It was a Hunter trade. Partial TP. Yeah. Okay. No, I'm not tripping. So whether you want pure Hunter or Akimbo, That's the decision you make right now. It's as simple as turning off Thursdays. You don't need to touch anything here because this is for revised. This is a weekday filter for revised. We're not doing revised. We're doing the weekday filter for classic, which is hunter or akimbo. Okay. So direction days, keep all of it on both. Don't touch anything there. We're going to go to the wrist settings for classic. Yo, who is going crazy in the DMs? Gracious, hold on. Okay, wrist settings, classic. This is where you define your risk. This is the only box that matters. This doesn't matter. This does not matter. And this does not matter. Okay, don't use these. We just need to make sure that this box is checked and that you have defined your risk. 350 is typically what I go with. Holy shit. 350 for my 50Ks. And then that's actually for my fundeds. If I was running an eval, more than likely I'm going to do 500 to 750 for a 50K, just because I don't like to waste time on evals. I want to pass them or blow them as quickly as possible so I can move on to the next set of evals or fundeds. So whether it's an eval or a funded, you can determine that based on, it's all based on you. I tell people it's based on what you can afford. You should only do what you can afford. I can blow an eval a day. It's not going to be a big deal for me. If you can't, you shouldn't. Don't try to do something that you can't do. Risk settings for revised orb, they don't matter because, again, we're not doing revised orb right now. We're doing classic. So you can just completely ignore this entirely. And then we have the setting here, enable minimum raw quantity filter. And then the threshold for that filter needs to be 0.9. That way, as long as the stop loss is within 90% of allowable risk, it'll still enter the trade. So you have a 10% buffer, if you will, to allow you into the trade. And then just keep scrolling. You don't need to touch anything else until you get down to hunter here. Select mode. You want it to be on hunter. Okay? Very important. We want to check this box. Enable hunter mode stop loss. Make sure that's checked. Don't touch anything here. Oh my God, something happened. Okay, yeah, don't touch those. Enable optimize hunter. Full optimize needs to be checked. And check enable large stop loss reduction. What does this mean? This means that if the stop loss is larger than 50 points, based on our data, price is almost guaranteed to reverse before 1R. So what do we do to mitigate that problem? And again, this is based on a couple years of data, guys. So that's why this is kind of dope in my opinion, but also I kind of hate it. So I have a love-hate relationship with it, but that doesn't matter. What matters is how it works. Stop loss is larger than 50 points. It's going to take profit at TP1. Full profit. Okay, so that means you need to enable partials, and your partial R needs to be set to 0.7. Long term, this has been proven to be more profitable. You might see red days larger than green days, like you might lose a full R on a red day, and then you'll have a green day where you'll only make 0.7. But the main thing is those 0.7s have been proven to go on winning streaks of 7, 8, 9. So even though you're losing one full R in the midst of things, whether it's 1 or 2 losses in the midst of in between winning streaks, you have a compounding effect on the winning streaks. With the data expanded to 1, you miss out. What ends up happening is you'll take a partial at TP1 and then if you don't move your stop loss to break even, you'll end up getting stopped out still. In long term, this has been proven to be more beneficial, more profitable. So that's why it's set up this way. So you want to enable this, make sure it's 50, and then we're not going to enable break even. Then we're going to check TP partial and do 0.7. Okay, and then we're done. You don't need to touch anything else. I will try to get a couple of screenshots here. Okay. And then we're going to click OK. Now your settings are done. The final thing we need to do is create the alert, and then we're done. Oh, actually, for Akimbo, we have one more layout to do. Don't let me forget. So if you are running Akimbo, if you're running Hunter, just pure Hunter, you're done with one layout. You don't need to go any further. If you're doing Akimbo, we actually need to create one more layout. So let me delete. Let's delete this one. Delete. Boom. I'm limited on layouts. TradingView wants $70 a month. They're not getting it. Manage layouts. We're going to create a new one, just like we did before. We're going to call this layout 2. And then I'll put the same emoji. So these emojis I recognize now as my Akimbo emoji. So anytime I see the sunset on the mountain, I know right away it's an Akimbo layout. Before, as you can see, I was using the alien. But just for example purposes, I just wanted to change it for you guys. Open a new tab, create. Now, pay close attention here because it's slightly different. Instead of M and Q, we're going to do NQ. We're going to stay on the 5-minute time frame. Okay, that doesn't change. But our asset changed to NQ1 with the exclamation point. So we no longer have the American flag here. We just have a little blue circle that says 100. Okay? We're going to stay on the 5-minute time frame. And we're on layout 2. We go to indicators, invite only, Playbot quant suite, same thing, add it. Oh, this looks sick with my background. Holy shit. Minimize the strategy report. That's so fucking sick. And then should look like this. We're going to, again, see the little drop down, hover over your script until you get to the settings cog here. It's a little hexagon in between the eyeball and the trash can. Click it. Same thing here, slightly different. Slightly different. Classic. We leave it at classic. And then we disable our other days that we had on our first layout and enable the days that we did not have on that layout. So this method is filling all 5 days. So Mondays, it's Pure Hunter. Tuesdays, it's Con Classic. Wednesdays, it's Pure Hunter. Thursdays, it's Con Classic. Fridays, it's Pure Hunter. Okay? And then you don't need to worry about anything here because, again, this is for revised. You can just ignore this completely. This is what you're focused on here. Let's continue to scroll down Again, both on all of them. You don't need to change that. Classic risk. Change it to 350 like I had on the other one. And then again, you don't need to worry about this because this is for revised. And then these two down here are not to be worried about. You just need to make sure for your risk, for classic, you have this box checked and you've put your preferred risk here. I like 350 because with 350, I can always get in at least one contract, even with 100-point stop loss. Okay? So if I was to lose that trade, I would not lose 350. I would lose much less. Does that make sense, guys? Because 350, I would need to almost, if I entered two contracts, I would lose more than 350. So the bot says, well, no, we can only enter one. So that's going to be a much larger loss. Sorry, much smaller loss than if I was to get an extra almost 75% of an extra contract. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm only going to lose about 175 here. Okay. So for people who usually run about 350, and you always wonder, why did I not lose that much? You're like, I'm not tripping. I'm not mad, but Jumper, why did I only lose a little bit? Well, this is why. This is why. Okay? So, 350. And then, very important, these two. So before, on the first layout, we didn't need to enable M&Q because we were on the M&Q chart. But now we're on the NQ chart, right? So we need to enable M&Q execution. Very, very, very important. Please do that. Right below it, you'll see our same setting as before. Enable minimum raw quantity filter. Same thing here. We're just going to make this 0.9. Okay. Then once you're done with that, continue to scroll back to Hunter. Select mode. We're going to change it from Hunter to conservative. That's why it's called conservative classic, because we've changed it to conservative. Okay. And look, it popped up a different screener. Conservative runs a little bit different than Hunter. They're not the same. Similar, but not the same. And then our settings here actually don't matter because they're Hunter, so they need to be disabled because we're not running Hunter. We're now running conservative classic. So all of the Hunter buttons need to be disabled for this secondary layout, just like so. I've turned them all off because they don't matter anymore. Then I'm going to click OK. And I'm done with that layout. Okay? Now, what we forgot to do on the first layout, didn't necessarily forget, but I just wanted to finish the second layout before we started to create alerts, right? So now each of these layouts need an alert. If you're running Pure Hunter, you only created one layout, so you're only going to create this first alert with me, right? If you're running Akimbo, you have two layouts, so you're going to create two separate alerts, okay? All right, so we're on layout 1 for Pure Hunter or Akimbo. Layout 1 or Pure Hunter. Let's go up to the alert here, or you can go to alerts here on the right-hand side and click the plus sign. Or you can click the clock up here on the top of your chart. The condition of your alert needs to be the indicator name. You're going to see this here. You can ignore this. Order fills an alert function calls. Okay? It's very important. Interval, same as chart, 5 minutes. If you're someone who likes to mess with your chart a lot, like if you think you might accidentally change the time frame on your chart, go ahead and just change this to 5 minutes. You shouldn't be messing with your bot charts. After we create them, you should not mess with them again. You should never really touch them unless you're like editing a setting or something and then updating your alert condition. after you do a setting. Every time you do a setting, you have to update your alert condition. What does update alert condition mean? Well, it's right here on the screen. Condition, we're creating an alert. Condition, this means updating your alert condition. I will show you what that means in a moment. So this layout is a home for your bot. We've isolated your bot. Going forward, after we do this, you should not fuck with it. But if you are someone who you just can't help yourself, just put your interval on 5 minutes. That way, you know, you don't got to worry about it getting changed. Expiration, 1 month. One moment. Expiration, 1 month. Okay. Message, this is where it comes in for lune. Remember, we're doing lune first, right, guys? So we go back to lune, and here's the message. Copy. Go back to your alert. Inside the message, we deleted everything, and then we paste what lune gave us, and boom, we got a little green check mark. Perfect. Don't change it. Don't alter it. You never, ever, ever touch this or try to like do something to it. They've given it to you perfectly. Then we're going to name this Akimbo, or if you're on Pure Hunter, you're going to name this Pure Hunter, like so. But I'm going to name it Akimbo, and then I'm going to click Apply. Now the final step. We still have our alert up. We have not created it yet. We go down to notifications right here, below the message, apps, toast, and stuff like here. It might say webhook, it might say sound or text. Just click it, and then you'll see your webhook box right here. You want to check that box, and it's going to give you an empty box. If it doesn't, if it gives you like some kind of message, that means you did not enable 2FA, and you won't be able to finish this until you go back and enable 2FA. That's why I showed you that at the beginning of the recording. So go back and do that. Once you have enabled 2FA, you're actually going to have to refresh your whole page and redo your alert so it can stick. Then once you get back to your notifications part of your alert after you've redone it, you'll have an open box to paste your webhook. Go back to Lune. At the top, you click reveal and then click copy. Don't share this with anybody. I'm going to invalidate this after the stream anyways, but you should not share it with anybody. Then paste it here, just like so. And then you can click apply at the bottom and create here at the bottom right. You're done. You're done with Pure Hunter, and you're done with the alert and layout 1 for Akimbo. So if you're on Pure Hunter, you're completely done. You can turn your computer off, and you can, do whatever now. You can close the tab. You can, just don't mess with this. Just leave this how it is, please. You don't need to be coming in here and doing this or doing this. Don't do that. Don't come in here and do this, right? Like you can do that, but like then once this gets hit, you're gonna get a rejected error message for JSON payload on your M&Q notification, and you're gonna ask me what the problem is, and I'm gonna tell you there's no problem. You just set a manual alert on your bot chart or on your manual chart, and you forgot to remove your webhook. So that's all that means. So just don't mess with it. Yeah, it's like just don't share your trading view with your cousin or your brother. Definitely don't do that. I've actually had that issue. Someone shared their trading view with someone, and they could not for the life of them figure out why their bot kept fucking up, is because their literal brother was fucking it up unintentionally. But the next thing that we need to do is layout 2 alert for Akimbo users. So for all my Akimbo people, this is your last step. We go to our layout 2, and then we add a new alert for layout 2. Don't do this while you're on layout 1. When creating an alert, when editing an alert condition, you must be on the layout that that alert belongs to. That is why I label. Okay? 100K eval, set the risk to 1,000. Yeah. Let's run through that eval. Whether you pass or fail, dude, you got to run through that thing. Time is way more valuable. Unless it's not to you, unless you got all the time in the world and you want to, it's completely up to you. But for me, that's my mentality. Right. Like I was saying, on your layout, you must be, or sorry, when you're making or editing an alert, you must be on the correct layout that belongs to that alert. It's very important. So for the Akimbo layout 2 alert, all we're doing is the same thing. We're just doing it on layout 2. Does that make sense? I just went to layout 2 and now I'm creating the same alert, but I'm just labeling it differently. Okay? And the reason this works is because these are different layouts with different bot settings. They're independent of one another and they trade on different days. So again, 5 minutes, order fills and alert function calls, condition is the indicator name. Expiration, 1 month, message, delete everything, go back to Lune, copy, paste, check mark, and then layout 2, right? Why am I labeling it layout 2? It's because this is layout 2, layout 2, layout 2. That way, when you save it and it goes and lives over here on the right-hand side of your alert section, you'll know which alert is which, where it belongs to, and you'll know which one to be on and how to edit it. Okay, so you got the message done. Notifications, click it, same thing. If you already have a webhook there, go ahead and delete it just to be safe. Go back to Lune, copy your webhook at the top, and paste it. Then click apply, click create, and you are 100% done. So whether you're on a Pure Hunter or whether you've done Akimbo, you're now 100% done. There is no more settings that you need to do. The bot will trade on its own. And you can confirm this by looking here. Bring your attention to my green arrow. Where is it pointing to? A green alarm clock. Now, this brings me to a very important point. See how my alerts are active here? That's good. And when I switch between layouts, I retain my green alarm. Also good, right? I haven't messed with my chart yet. But let's say I do mess with my chart and I put it on 3 minutes, right? Well, what happened? My alert's still active, but now I don't have my green alarm clock. That's okay because remember, on your alert setting here for Akimbo, you set it to the interval. You didn't set it to same as chart. So see how now on same as chart it says 3 minutes. Your trade wouldn't fire if you had it to same as chart. So that's why I'm saying let's just go ahead and start doing the actual time frame just in case you make a mistake and change your time frame on accident. No need to have any errors. Okay? Let's go back to the 5 minutes and then look, my alarm clock came back. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, another very important thing. Let's say I don't want to use this risk anymore for Akimbo layout 1. I want to lower it or raise it. Well, how do I do that? Well, I come back to my layout, I go to my layout, and I locate my little alarm clock here so I can hover over it and see my settings cog. Go back to our settings, same place we were before. We're going to scroll down. Boom. Oh, wait, let me fix my Thursdays. Boom. Max risk per trade. Let's say I was like, we're up, like we're on a 7 trade winning streak, right? Typically, when we're on a 7 trade winning streak, I cut my risk in half because a loss is within the next 3 to 4 trades based on data. Some will say, no, you need to double down. I say, no, I'm going to cut it in half. And that's why my fundeds are still green. Okay. I'm going to go like 300 or 275. I'm just going to lower it a little bit. Okay. Just to de-risk. And then once I lose and we, hit a losing trade or two, I'll be like, oh, okay, bet. Let's raise it back to 350. But just for an example purposes, I'm just saying, let's say you wanted to raise it, or let's say you said, no, I want to, or lower it. Let's say, no, I want to raise it. Let's say I want to raise it. Okay. There's something that you want to change, and you go in here to these settings and you change it, and you click OK. Well, look what happens. I've lost my alarm clock. Okay. Now your trade's still going to go through, but it's going to go through on your old settings. So as you can see, I just changed it to $1,000 from 350, and I clicked OK, and I lost my alarm clock. But even though I clicked OK, my bot's not going to trade $1,000. It's going to trade the 350. I have to finalize that, I need to do one more thing. I need to go to the alert that is attached to this layout. Okay, so this is my akimbo layout. That means I need to go to my akimbo alert and click edit. How did I get to this alert? How do I see this screen right here? Well, it's simple. This little clock right here allows you to pop out your alerts. And then I'm going to go to my akimbo alert. Click edit, and you see your condition here. Anytime that I say you need to change or update your alert condition, this is what I mean. And you click it, and now look, you have a new condition down here. You didn't have 2 before. Remember when we created our alert the first time, you only had price or 1 option for your condition. Now you have 2. You need to click the new one here at the bottom. If you see at the very top left of this box that pops up, it says n4a.orb. Then below it, it says New York. Then below that, it says 1100. And then below that, it says both. Okay? If you look to the right of the first both, it says 1000. That is my new updated risk. Okay? I can't hover over it with the mouse because if I go off of this, it's going to take it off. I'm just trying to show you. If I go and do the same thing here, n4a.orb at the top left, go down to New York, then bring my eyes down to the 1100, bring my eyes down to both, and then next to both to the right, it says 350. That's my original risk. But I changed it. So now I want to click the one that says 1000. Okay? Click it, then save, and now look, my green alarm clock is back. And now we're good to go on 1000. Does that make sense? I'm going to assume that makes sense. Okay. So that's really it, guys, as far as the creation aspect goes. All you're doing is setting your strategy up in Lune, adding your accounts to it, and then setting up your parameters and your bot in TradingView. You're either adding all of your accounts to this strategy by enabling them as connections, turning them on, and then adding them to your auto trader. Okay? So the next thing that we're going to show is Traders Post. And this is going to be quicker because we've already done the TradingView setup, so we're not going to go over that again. We're just going to go over how to specifically show you Traders Post. Okay? So if anyone has any questions on Lune, we can answer those before we get into this. Ooh. Can I switch from Traders Post to Lune? Yeah, just cancel your Traders Post. Just try to even request a refund. Like if they've recently charged you or you still have time left, you can maybe request a refund. Cancel that, and then you just go to Lune. I'll send you the link again so you don't have to scroll up in the chat. You might have to use code Playbit on Lune, or you might not. I don't think you should. I think we got it to where it's $50 a month now without the code. But definitely double check. And then I'll go ahead and finish Traders Post setup real quick just so I can get this recording out to you guys. It's about an hour and 30 minutes long now. So dashboard, same thing as Lune, just connecting your broker. Remember, you always choose your broker first. So we're going to choose Tradeovate, and then you choose your prop. So you can choose whatever prop that you have, and then it's going to bring up a login screen, just like, let's go add Lucid real quick. Let's add my Lucid, and it's going to bring up a login screen, connect Lucid. Can I check this anywhere? What is a recommended risk on 150Ks? 150K funded or 150K eval? And then I'll add my Lucid here. Give it my Lucid login details, right? Not my prop firm login details. Not my prop firm. Lucid gives you login details, okay? You refresh this. Go to your Lucid, okay? Then show credentials. Wait, do I need to do it on certain accounts? No, it's all the same. It's all the same. So show credentials up here. You go to account summary, show credentials, boom. These are the credentials that you use, and every prop firm does this, whether it's Lucid or Apex or whoever. They're going to give you credentials that you need to log in to Tradeovate. You click login. And then boom, you're going to see this screen. You only need to log in once per account. Funded, not an eval. 150K funded. I'd probably do like 900. To be honest. Honestly, anywhere between 750 and 900 to be super safe. 900 kind of pushing it. That's like an aggressive risk. Maybe like 725 for safe. So you only need to add or log in once, and then boom, here's all my Lucids. I have 5 Lucids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 700 solid. And then I have different types of Lucid accounts. So this is a funded, and you can tell it's a funded because it says Lucid Funded Futures, LFF. This one is an eval, Lucid Funded Eval, LFE. This is a direct, Lucid Trading Direct, LTD. Funded, Lucid Futures Funded, and then funded, Lucid Futures Funded, okay? So I logged in once, and here's all of my accounts. All I would do is enable them like so. Boom. I don't pay for Traders Post, so I'm only able to add 2, but if you pay for Traders Post, which you have to enable webhooks, you can enable 4. And again, if you upgrade, not upgrade, sorry, you don't need to upgrade, you just add paper accounts, and you're good to go with adding more. You just need to enable them. If you don't enable them, you won't see them here on your dashboard. So if I go back to brokers and I click edit and I disable them, go to dashboard, there's nothing. Go back to brokers, edit, enable. There they are. Okay, so they have to be enabled. Then we're going to go to strategies, and you're going to create a new strategy, just like you did in Lune. It was called create new auto trader. In Trader's Post, it's a strategy. So you would click new strategy, and you're going to see something just like this. So I've already done them, and it's the same every single time. So you're just going to follow exactly what I've done here. We're going to label it. You don't need a description. I was just showing people what you could do with the description. Oh yeah, one sec. Stream ended due to error. Your Mac may be low on disk space. 1 second. Yeah, we are definitely running tight. Let's delete all this. Trash that. Empty the trash can. That'll probably save us some gigabytes. Let's close and let's force close a bunch of stuff. Force quit. Trading view. Yeah, we can force quit that. Obsidian, we can force quit. All right, we should be good. If it happens again, just let me know. But that should fix it for now. Okay, so we're gonna label it either Hunter or Akimbo. Style is systematic. Asset class is futures. And then allowed tickers, any. No need to put anything here. But it's the whole desktop. You got it now? Does it look good? It might just be delayed. No need to put anything here. No need to do anything here. This is going to autofill once you actually add your subscription. Make sure all these 3 boxes are checked. And then notifications. I only want failed signals if there is any. That's the only signals I want via email, so I know what the issue is. Security, any IP. Don't choose anything else. Any IP. At the bottom right here, we're going to click Edit Subscription Defaults. Both sides. And then don't touch anything else here. Trading window. America, New York, and then check this box here. So we choose America, New York, and we check this box. Position size, we're going to skip. Open orders, we're going to skip. Entry needs to be market. Skip everything else. Exit needs to be market. And skip everything else. Retries, none. Click close at the bottom right. Then click save at the bottom left. Make sure you click save. Then click subscribe right next to save at the bottom left. Just in case you can't see my screen, it's at the very bottom left. Then you're going to choose the first account on top that you want to add to the strategy. So you're essentially setting up a copy trading. Now, as you add accounts to that strategy, they will copy trade simultaneously. Okay? So you don't need a copy trader for anywhere between 1 to 10 accounts. Once you get to about 10 accounts, I'd say, yeah, it's time for you to go ahead and get a copy trader. Okay? In which case, you would only be adding 1 account to Trader's Post or Lune. Okay? Do I need the ghost method to use bullnox on the bot? It's a good question. I'll confirm that. I'll try to confirm that today. So the only thing we need to actually check here is that it's on auto submit. Okay, right here in the middle. Auto submit, and everything else should automatically be filled. All of those little settings that we did should be the same exact settings. Then at the very bottom left, we click save, and then we click enable. Yes and no. You have to be careful. Okay, so what you could do, I have to be careful with how I say this. I don't have an alpha account. Okay, I've never had alpha. There's some prop firms that I've never had. I don't even have an account with them, right? But my wife does. Okay. So she basically, in our household, owns alpha. I will never create an alpha account. In this scenario, yes, it'll work because I can log in to her alpha account on this device, my laptop, and it's no problem because I've never had an alpha account. They've never had a separate identity log in on this device or in this IP address at all on my Wi-Fi. So in that specific scenario, yes, you can. But if you or someone else both have Top Step or both have Alpha, then no, it's not going to work because you can't put two of the same brokers on your trade copier for API. First off, and second off, if you both have the same prop firm and y'all are both pulling from the same exact trade copier API, you're cooked. It doesn't matter who's your lead. If you're both doing the same trades, entries and exits, on the same API, trade syncer, and you both go request a $20,000 payout on the same day, I mean, come on now. They're going to ban you. They're going to deny your payout. And they're going to ban you. So you got to be smart. I just recommend don't doing it at all. But I do it, so I can't even. You know what I mean? Actually, we don't even do it anymore. I actually don't even do it anymore because it's just not worth the risk. So she trades her own accounts now, and she has her whole own bot now. She has her whole own bot now because she wants to control it and everything. And I'm like, yeah, sure, 100%. You should be able to control your own shit. So going forward, all we were doing here was making sure it said auto submit, and then we scroll all the way to the bottom. We click save, and then we click enable at the bottom left. I don't pay, so I can't enable, but you pay, so you should be able to enable. Then go back to strategies, and you'll see that your Akimbo or your Pure Hunter strategy is now newly created. It should say basically everything mine says. It should say enabled, auto submit, and it should have one subscription. Again, mine's disabled because I don't pay for Traders Post. I don't use them. But you would click this and it would just enable it, right? Or you enabled it on the previous screen. Either way, it's going to work. And then just make sure it has at least one subscription. That means you've added one account. So if you wanted to add your other accounts, you click subscribe, and then you would go to add this new account here at the bottom, create subscription. Same exact thing. We just create, or we click auto submit, scroll all the way down, save, and then you click enable. And you go back to strategies and you'll see you have two subscriptions now. Okay. Again, mine has 0 because I don't pay for Traders Post. So, and that's it. You're done. you would do now the same thing that we did before with Lune. This process is no different. You would go to TradingView, do the whole thing over again, and then when you get to your alert creation of your layout, you would simply go to the strategy that you created here in Traders Post. You would click edit and you would grab the webhook that they give you. Copy that webhook and use that webhook instead of your instead of the one that I used for Lune, because obviously you're not using Lune, you're using Traders Post. Okay. And the JSON that you would use is here. Let me send it in chat. So the Traders Post JSON is the same for everyone. It is a universal JSON. Let me fix it. Hold on. Yeah, if you're in the market for a new computer, get one with a lot of RAM and disk space. This is fucking cooked. I've maxed out this entire laptop. It has no memory left. I gotta go delete like a bunch of stuff. Okay, cool. Forgot what I was doing. What was I doing? Oh, I sent you the JSON. Right. So it's here in the chat, guys. That's the universal JSON for Traders Post. And then you create the alert and you're done. That would be it. So it's the same thing as creating an alert for Lune. Instead, you're just putting this JSON. So Traders Post test alert. I'm just going to label it this because I'm going to delete it after. And then for your webhook, you do the webhook from the edit section of your strategy. So you go to strategies, you go to the strategy that you created, click edit, webhook, copy, and paste it. Apply, create, and you are now done with Traders Post. So, like I said, the reason we didn't do the TradingView layouts all over again is because we already did them with the Lune setup, and that would be really, really redundant. But it's the same exact thing all the way up until the actual alert creation. The only difference is the message and the webhook. So before we get into Clear Edge, do you guys have any more questions about Lune or Traders Post or Clear Edge? Okay, let's finish off with Clear Edge. Hopefully my laptop doesn't go crazy again. Huh, should already be logged in. Okay. So this is the Clear Edge app, okay? When I run Clear Edge, I don't use a VPS, but I have one to show you guys how to set it up. Now, before I get into that, I use Lune. So from all three of these, I'm using Lune right now. I just have all three of them for everyone, so I can help you guys set it up. So as you can see, all of my accounts are connected here. Yeah, it's the same webhook, Akash, because since they're trading on different days, there's no worry about overlap. So they can use the same exact webhook and the same exact message. Yes, sir. So this is the app that I've downloaded for ClearEdge. If you didn't want to do it this way, because you would have to be, your computer would have to be on Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time to 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, essentially. So if that's not something that you can manage or even want to do, then I wouldn't recommend the ClearEdge app. Okay? I wouldn't. But if you are a little more tech savvy, doesn't really require you to be, you have an option of getting a VPS, which is all that is. Literally all that is, guys, is, let me go, where is it? My DigitalOcean, trading VPS. Okay, here we go. Account details. Let's log in. All a VPS is, let's say I go to, let me just dox my entire information real quick. Boom. How do I get to my actual fucking VPS, bro? Here it is. Manage. Essentially, it's a cloud computer in your browser. It never turns off. It'll stay on as long as you have it turned on. And what you would do is, it's $19 a month for the one that I use, and it's just an extra computer that I paid $19 a month for. It's not the most powerful computer, but it's a virtual machine that you would do the ClearEdge app download inside of it instead of inside of your device. And then you would just simply set up ClearEdge inside of your VPS browser. So it's a little tab that I would leave open while I'm doing the setup. And then once I'm done with the setup, you can close it and you can access it from basically any location with the Windows app. Let me show you the app here. It's a pretty cool app. You could access it through your phone or a different computer. You literally just download this app, this Windows app, and boom, you see I have my connection here. It's called Trade Zone. I already have all the credentials and everything set, so it just automatically should open it for me. And then boom, here's my VPS. Here's my ClearEdge. And this is literally a Windows computer on my Mac inside a little window because of this Windows app right here. So how did I do this? Well, I just downloaded that Windows app, and then I gave the Windows app my IP address for the VPS and the administrator username and password here. So my username was administrator, my password was this, they give it to you, and then you just download that Windows app from the App Store, whether it's on your phone. It's actually not on the iOS App Store. It is on the iOS MacBook and iMac Mac Store, but it's not on the mobile App Store. You have to OS X. Yes, thank you. It's not on mobile. Okay. But it is on, I have it on my Samsung Fold Galaxy. Works amazing. If anyone has a Fold in here and you want to run this, I'll be at the park, I'll be somewhere with the fam, and I'll flip open my Fold and hit the Windows app, this little Windows app, and bust open this, and it's literally a computer in my hand. It's so freaking cool. I can manage my ClearEdge. So basically, instead of doing it on your device and having to worry about keeping your device on for $19 a month, I have an extra computer that runs 24/7. As you can see, I just clicked it and it's been on. It automatically turned on. It stays on 24/7 and I don't have to worry about it. So you would just set up your ClearEdge inside your VPS and that's it. Minimize it, close it, it doesn't matter. It'll always stay on. So now let's actually show you how to set up ClearEdge. So all you do is once you get the VPS, you download ClearEdge app from their website. Does the $19 VPS? Yes. Yeah, I haven't had any issues. Again, I've only tested ClearEdge for about a month, but I've been testing Lune for about 2 months now. But ClearEdge is awesome. Some people do it differently. They have like a dedicated computer at their house, and they just download it on that dedicated computer and leave it on. And the way that you leave it on is you go to display settings, and let me go to system settings, and you go to display, and you'll actually turn it to stay on. Advanced? No, it's somewhere in here. Screensaver. Here it is. Nope, it's not this at all. Screen time, lock screen. Here it is. You go to lock screen for iOS. So if you have a spare PC or whether it's Windows, it doesn't matter. I just make sure that mine is never turning off and it stays on 24/7. And then it's fine. If you want to run the app, that's how some people do it. And then obviously Friday at market close, you can go ahead and give your computer a break, turn it off over the weekend. You don't need to run your computer over the weekend. There's literally no point in that. It's wasteful. So what we would do here is I've already have all these connected, but just to show you, you would, after you download the ClearEdge app, whether it's on your device or on your VPS, you click add, and then you would add your broker. And then you would go to it here. It's going to add it down here. You can name it, give it an emoji. I like to do that. And then in this settings cog, you would give it the credentials for your Lucid Tradeovate, right? So this is my Lucid. I named it Lucid. We're going to click Set Credentials. Remember, I told you where to get your credentials from. See, LTT, Lucid Trading. And it already has my password, but you're going to give it your username, give it your password, and then click Save. Okay? Let me show you again where I got my Lucid credentials from. Here. Go to my dashboard in Lucid or Bullnox or wherever, and you click Show Credentials, and it's going to give you your login credentials. Let me go back to ClearEdge. Whoops. And then boom, give it the password, give it the username and the password. Click Save. Then what you do is you turn the system on. See, it says system paused. We're going to turn the system on. Okay. It's going to log me in with the credentials that I already gave it at the speed of light. I can accept the cookies. Oh no, the screen has left the chat. I said I was going to buy a new Mac last week. Yeah, I didn't. So right here, after you do the settings, system paused right here, we're going to turn it on. It's going to auto log you in at the speed of light. Just accept whatever it's trying to tell you. Log into demo. And then boom, here's all of my TradeOvit accounts. Now what you need to do for ClearEdge, which is very important, is you need to create a group first. Oh my God, it stopped again. I might have to stop the stream and go buy a new computer right now, guys. I'm trying to think, what else can I delete? But I need everything on here. I'm gonna have to go get a Mac Mini with like 3 times the space and port over all of my stuff through iCloud. I guess I could delete Hermes. I don't use Hermes. Bro, this is fucked. I can do external HDD on this MacBook. Oh yeah, USB-C one. Okay. I'm gonna try one more time. We might be cooked on this ClearEdge setup until I pick up a new thing. Hold on. Storage. If the Mac OS didn't take up 50 gigs and the system data, this is nuts. Your Mac OS and your system data takes up over 150 gigabytes of your available space. And I only have 245 gigabytes of available space, so I'm left with less than 100. The fuck, bro? That's fucking stupid. Applications. What do I have here? Maps. Why do we have maps on here? Well, that's not that big, so that doesn't matter. I guess let's delete Hermes. Let's delete Olama. Because it's open. Olama is not open, bro. Don't fucking play with me. Force quit. No, it's not. I can't even delete. This is retarded. Unity Hub. Get that shit out of here. I don't know what that is. Okay. I'm gonna try one more time. If it crashes again, I'm literally just gonna go to Best Buy. I'll hop back on later. I might not even be able to go to Best Buy. It says they're sold out. Okay, so we're going to turn our system on once we've given it the credentials. It's going to load us in at the speed of light. The reason it auto loads you in is because you already gave it the credentials here in your settings cog. And this needs to stay open, okay guys? Unfortunately, for some reason, we don't get a minimize tab, but this needs to stay open. This is probably what's killing my disk space right here when this opens. This needs to stay open. And then we need to create a group on Trade of 8. Go to manage groups, and you're going to label it, add group, and put all of your accounts into a group. And then within this group, you don't have to separate different sizes. Look, I have a 150K right here, and these are all 50Ks below it. So my 50Ks are chilling at, my 50K fundeds have one multiplier, so they'll trade 300 bucks, 350. My eval has a 2 multiplier, so it's going to trade 600. My 150K has a 3 multiplier, so it's going to trade 900. And you see I've done that all within one group. Okay? Then I click save. And we're done here. We can just take this off the screen because we don't need it anymore. Don't close it though. It has to stay on the screen. No, you don't need any ghosts with ClearEdge because it's all device based. I will say though, Apex has a problem with VPSs. Some firms don't like VPS. So if you're trying to do ClearEdge VPS and you have Apex, I just wouldn't do it. I would just use Lune or use device-based ClearEdge. You can still use ClearEdge, but you got to do it on the device base because you see when I'm doing it on the device, see how it opens Trade of 8 on my device? That means all of my trading signals are coming from my device on my IP, and that's what the firms want to see. Okay? That's what they want to see. They want to see it coming from your IP. If they see it coming from an IP address on a VPS in Chicago, they're going to be like, you know, they're either going to care or they're not going to care. Okay, some don't care about VPSs. They understand that you need to use a VPS sometimes. Some might require written permission first. Apex legitimately has a problem with it. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Device base is preferred, in my opinion. Okay, but that comes with a caveat. Like I said, your computer has to be on. Yeah, they could care, they could not care and then try to care when you're requesting a big payout, right? So that's why I try to be super transparent and like honest with you guys. You know, I don't want anyone to be blindsided by anything. So that's why I just try to tell you everything that I know. And I know for sure that a prop firm can decide to be okay with something one day and then not be okay with something the next when you're requesting a big payout. So try to play the game as safe as possible and maybe not go against the grain if you don't have to, right? So you could run the VPS in the beginning and then maybe opt out once you start making some real money. I take this shit super serious because I have well over $1 million in funding and over 2 million in evals. So I'm on my computer every morning making money, whether it's manually or with a bot. So I'm here. It's not a big deal for me to be here. Some people, that's the whole point of the bot. They can't be here. So you either have to set up a VPS, set up with Lune, or have your computer running Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on. Yeah, they don't have any issue with API webhooks, especially ones that are green on our approved automation chart. We have a chart somewhere in the Discord. I'll find it. Lucid is 100% green. But again, the ghost method is always an option. So once we have that group created, again, we just bring this off to the side. Then we're going to click this little up arrow here to, for whatever reason, it brings it down. And then the down arrow brings it up, but we're not going to focus on that. We're just going to pop this open and then select the account. So now you'll see there's that group I created, the power of 5. So instead of me creating a signal for every single account and using an agent for each one, because agents cost money on ClearEdge, I'm going to use one agent to trade 5 accounts. And remember, you can even do it with different sizes because in my group, see, 3x, 1x, 2x. This is an eval, trading 2x. This is a 150K, trading 3x. That's how that works. So, no, this is not required. For if you're done with Lune or you did Trader's Post, you can leave the stream. This is not required. This is a third option. Okay. This is a completely separate third option that you do not need. I'm very sorry if anyone was confused on that. Okay, now we're going to select the signal. If you're on ClearEdge, you have the option to pay $30 a month to subscribe to the Playbot signals. We tried our hardest to get this free, but it's not possible. They are requiring you to pay $30 a month to get these signals. You don't have to. You can just create your own signal here in Signals and set up TradingView just like we did with Lune and Trader's Post. But if you don't want to do any of that, you can completely delete your TradingView account, cancel your TradingView subscription, your data, your essential, and just choose one of these pre-made signals that I have made for you. So you'll go find a Kimbo, you'll go find your account size, Kimbo 50K, and you'll choose between safe, moderate, or aggressive. So here we are, Playbit, Akimbo, 50K, safe, 300 bucks. That's what I want. I'm gonna click that. Contract name is gonna be MNQU6, okay? And then we are done. That's how easy ClearEdge can be when you're using the Playbit signals. So we click done, and then we turn it on here, and we're good to go. So you just do that for every single account, and then you leave your Trade-of-8 open here. Just bring it off to a different screen, like so. So it's out of your way. And then you just leave this open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yes, I handmade all of these are exactly the same. So what this does for you here is it eliminates the need for you to do what we did in TradingView. Okay, so all that junk that we did, oops, I opened that on accident. Stream might crash here in a second. All that stuff that we did on TradingView here, you don't got to do any of this anymore if you're doing the ClearEdge Playbit signals. Full control. You have full control. That's the upside. You have full control. Okay. So we're done, and then we turn it on, and that's it. You're good to go. You just let it run. And that's all 3 platforms. They are all independent of each other. Again, you don't need all of them. You just need one of them. And if you're using ClearEdge and you subscribe to the Playbit signals for the 30 bucks a month, you can cancel your TradingView, cancel the data, and save that money and put it towards this, so you don't have to worry about that whole extra setup. So technically, guys, ClearEdge was the easiest. Like, let's be real. If you're paying the extra 30 bucks a month, you don't even need to ever open TradingView. Like, this is non-existent. This whole setup process with those settings and the alerts and the layouts, that was the most complicated part. And it's non-existent now. So we've given you an option to completely eliminate that. The only caveat is if you're doing the app, you just download the ClearEdge app on your laptop, just leave your laptop on or your computer on Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's it. That's the only caveat. And then just turn it off during the weekend so it has time to rest and sleep. And obviously, like after 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, you can turn it off. unless you're doing the Coke bot. That might change here soon, guys. Okay? That might change here soon. So for now, that's it. That's what it is. But that's why I love ClearEdge so much when you're paying this extra $30 a month. And if you want to do that, just go to bot chat or go to actually I might be able to send you an invite here. Hold on. Broadcast invitation code. I think I can do this. This invites you to get those signals, okay? The pre-made ones, so you can delete TradingView and all that stuff. Okay? And that's it, guys. That's literally it. So those are your options. My personal favorite, it's a battle between ClearEdge and Lune. Like, I hate setting this TradingView stuff up, right? I don't like it. It's room for error. And honestly, this is the most I deal with, like all the issues that I deal with on a daily basis, answering you guys' questions and tickets and DMs. It's all this mainly, like 75% TradingView issues. So we can remove all of that friction by just opting for the Playbot ClearEdge signals. You can just choose it like I did here when you're setting up your ClearEdge strategies. No TradingView evolved. This is your TradingView setup here. This is it. You just find the strategy you want, your account size, and then if you want to do safe, moderate, or aggressive. And you set up your groups, remember, on Tradeovate, and you gave them their own multiplier. And since you did that, the multiplier here is irrelevant. Okay? Turn it on, make sure your system is active, make sure it's on here too, and you're done. You're good to go. Overall, I'd say so, Casey. Like, honestly, ClearEdge is, you can get past the idea of leaving your computer on Monday through Friday. Then yeah, this is the easiest and best. Like this we were done with this before any of the other ones. Like Trader's Post took the longest. Lune is second, and ClearEdge I would say is first. But if you don't like Lune, you can log into Lune on your phone. You know what I mean? And access it from anywhere. If you do the app here on your ClearEdge and you're not at home, you're at work, you're cooked. Unless you have remote access, you can download the remote access and then have like a remote access to your PC from your phone. You should do that. You should definitely do that. I'm going to end the recording here because we're done. I cannot believe this is this long.